Mother's Day Toolkit Hangout series. From Monday through Thursday this week, we'll be covering different topics related to this holiday with a different group of awesome panelists every day. I'm Mike Sheppard, an AskMen's host and guide, who will take you on this journey to female approval. Today we'll tackle gifts mothers will like, and you'll find more info about everything discussed here on our website at AskMen and on our Google Plus page and YouTube channel. So before we get started, I think it'd be a great time to introduce all our guests that are here today, and they can all say hello, and then we'll dive into some questions that we've kind of kicked around here that might be on your minds as you look forward to shopping for a gift for Mother's Day. So let's say hi to Sabrina James from parenting.com.
Hi, my name is Sabrina James, and I'm the Fashion and Style Director for Parenting Magazine, and I'm coming to you today from our offices in sunny Florida.
Very nice to have you here, Sabrina. And Fred Goodall, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Fred Goodall. I'm the founder of the fatherhood website, Mocha Dad, and I'm coming to you from Houston, Texas.
Very good. And we've got a couple of actual fathers here. Why don't we start with James?
Hi, I'm James. I'm the publisher at AskMen. I am an actual father, and I'm in Montreal, Canada.
Very good. And our last but not least, other real dad, Ryan.
My name's Ryan Johnson. I run marketing and business development for AskMen. I'm a father of 2 young boys. I'm also in Montreal with me.
So we've got a bit of a cross-section here of people that we're dealing with today, which is great. We have one woman who will likely be able to educate us on a few things that we may, as men, not be thinking of as Mother's Day approaches. So we got a few questions here, and I think a good place to start, like with any gift buying, and Mother's Day is one of those days that inevitably you need to get out there and spend something for the woman that has taken such good care of you in your whole life. But what are you looking for when you're shopping for a gift, and what criteria should really judge the appropriate Mother's Day gift? Should it be about a singular gift that means something to her, or should you be looking to try and get something that might mean spending time with her? Why don't we start with you, Sabrina?
Well, I think that if you are not living in the home with your mother, I think that one of the best things you can do is create an experience that the two of you spend together. I think that one of the things, if you tailor the experience to what your mom wants and think about what her passions are or her interests, so if she is a gardener, instead of just buying her a plant, like contact her local nursery and see if they can do a little class for the two of you and then buy a plant once you're there, or like cooking classes are a great thing to do with your mom. I think doing something together and creating memories is definitely the way to go.
Ryan, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's sometimes it's difficult, especially if your mother lives far away, as is mine, to actually do something with them like a cooking class. I think as long as you really have a good understanding of what their interests are, of what they love to do, and getting a present that kind of shows that obviously you're aware of the things that are interesting to them, it's kind of touching that they'll they know that what's the things that make their lives interesting.
It seems fair and logical to me. Fred, you have anything on the subject?
No, I certainly agree. I think the experiences are the most important thing. When I didn't live close to my mom, I would try and find out what's going on in the town. Maybe there's a play or a concert she wanted to attend, so I tried to get her some tickets to those things. Now that I live closer to her, it's all about the experiences. And it's the same with my wife. I try and find out what can we do that she enjoys, because they both enjoy spending time with the family. So we can have some type of family activity. That's probably the best thing for them.
Wow, I'm starting to feel very guilty about my previous Mother's Days as we go. James, make me feel better about myself. What do you have to say about this?
I will. I think I can make you feel better about yourself.
Thank God for you.
I think that when you're shopping for that Mother's Day gift, you kind of want something that is the opposite of motherhood and everything that that conjures up. My mom, my wife, they don't want to spend Mother's Day with me. They want to spend Mother's Day away from me and away from children and away from all those everyday Mother's Day motherhood things. So I say go for solitude, relaxation, and anything that's kind of the opposite of the everyday mother experience.
Oh,
So they have an escape, right?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I think James is the first one to speak to that notion of pampering your mother for some time away. Sabrina, how do you feel about that perspective?
Well, I totally agree, especially if the mother still has children in the house. I think that a lot of times they're looking for an escape from the daily grind so to speak, of the activities that go along with caring for the children. But I also think that if you have moved out of the house and they don't get to see you as often, I feel like at that point, the mothers really do want to spend time with their kids. And I think that even if you're not able to do something necessarily right then and there, getting an experience that the two of you can do the next time you're together, coupled with something sentimental, like a handwritten note, or like some kind of a picture of the two of you that brings back memories, I think is something that a mom who has a kid that's moved out of the house would really appreciate.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that those are important criteria. What about you, Fred? Do you think that occasionally the nice Mother's Day gift to let mom have a break on her own is a good idea?
No, it's certainly a good idea. Last year I did a survey on my site to ask moms what they really want, and the #1 answer was sleep.
Wow, suddenly I think my previous Mother's Days are looking better and better as this goes. This is great.
But the moms really wanted that solitude. They wanted some time alone. They wanted some time to recuperate and rest and relax because, things are so hectic for them every single day.
I think that's a good segue into another question that I had, which maybe we can jump to, and a couple of you have referenced this, and we spoke about this earlier, is the idea that getting a gift on Mother's Day is not just about getting a gift for your mother. It's about getting a gift for the mothers in your life, i.e. your wife, could be a sister-in-law, could be someone close to you. Where does this line get drawn, and who are the mothers that we should really be focusing on Mother's Day? Ryan, why don't you jump in on this one?
Yeah, I think, once you're married, I think you have to focus, obviously, a lot more on your wife. And the reality is, especially if you've got small kids, she's working really hard, she's really getting really tired, and if there's any time to celebrate Mother's Day, it's when mothers are kind of in the juice. So I kind of obviously do something for my mom, but I think it's really important to really acknowledge what my wife has done in raising our children. And how I usually do that is I kind of focus on almost the things that we used to do together before we had kids, and trying to get a gift that's around around an activity that we used to like. So it's not like the alone time for her, but it's more of like, just remember how it was before this all happened.
Remember what life was like before all this chaos came in.
Yeah, it's memory lane. It's a bit of nostalgia, and that works, and she likes it a lot. So
don't make it so good that then the rest of the week after that feels very, very, very sad. So watch yourself there. James, what do you have an opinion on this topic?
Yeah, I think that's a very nice idea, a nice approach to it. I mean, in terms of which mothers are you bound to respect and kind of gift? Clearly your own mother, of course, forever, for the rest of your lives. And your wife too, I'd say, on behalf of your kids, until your kids are old enough to come up with actually good gifts themselves. Until then, you're representing the kids by giving gifts on their behalf. But beyond that, don't go crazy. Limit it to your mom, to your wife, until the kids can take over. Beyond that is a slippery slope. Don't start giving Mother's Day gifts to everyone. It's never going to end.
Hey, Mike. One thing I will say, just to hop in there, is if you happen to be going to a Mother's Day event, an event on Mother's Day that involves other mothers that are not like in your mother's circle, like your wife or your mom, it is a nice idea to bring something, whether it's flowers, to all the moms that are there, just to kind of acknowledge them, especially if you're going to be giving some kind of bigger gifts to your own mom and your own wife who's a mom. It's a nice idea, and plus you'll kind of be the hero.
I like it. There's that extra bonus that you just come off looking really great in front of all those women is a little bonus, but sounds to me like it is the right thing to do.
I'd also like to say,
husbands are there, right?
Sorry, Sabrina, we'll get to you in a second. Go ahead, James.
Especially if those women's husbands, those other mothers, if their husbands are there, you show up with a gift for their wives.
Yeah, dude, you should have brought your flowers.
So another bonus, make all the other men look horrible. Yeah. Wow, okay.
Actually,
I'm writing this down.
Mike, this should be called How to Win Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's getting competitive. I like it. Sabrina, you wanted to jump in with something there?
In the same vein of winning Mother's Day, I think one of the most amazing things you can do to make your wife really appreciate you is to do something for your mother-in-law. Even if it's just a card or a handwritten note that thanks her for giving birth to the woman of your dreams or something sweet, I think it's a definite way to win Mother's Day.
That sounds like very good advice. Fred, if you did not get a gift for your wife on Mother's Day, would you be in big trouble?
Oh, it would be probably one of the worst mistakes I've made in my life.
Well, don't oversell it. My God.
No, he's not overselling it.
I mean, this is an interesting distinction. This wasn't one of my questions, but what is the distinction, maybe, Fred, on that you could articulate? Is there a difference between forgetting your wife's birthday and forgetting Mother's Day?
Well, I believe that for my wife, being a mom is very important to her. So she really wants that acknowledgement from me that, that I give her something or have some experience with her that shows how much I appreciate the things that she does. I think that's what it's really about. She wants to see that appreciation and just know that I don't take her for granted.
Yeah, I think a birthday probably celebrates that about people in general, but I guess Mother's Day is actually singling out one actual trait that the woman is accomplishing.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is good. We talked a little bit about the criteria. I mean, when you are shopping for a gift for your mom, I mean, forgetting the distinction between gifts, where you participate or gifts you get for her just as something to get. Let's say you've decided just to get her a nice gift. Are you getting her something that really speaks to her? James, you touched upon this before, so maybe we'll go to you. That speaks to her as a mother, or I mean, mothers mean a lot of different things. Ryan, I know your wife works. James, same thing. These are professional women as well. So is there something about Mother's Day where you are specifically buying a gift to celebrate her being a mother, or should you be speaking to maybe some other hobbies or interests at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say focus on the latter. I'd say focus on the things that she maybe has been forced to neglect a bit, whether it's hobbies or pampering or whatever else, and to really kind of zone in on that. To remind her of the things that she enjoys, but she's been forced to kind of forget about. So definitely tailored to her personality and to her interests, but really focus on her putting it into play for her own self-indulgence entirely.
It sounds completely unselfish. I like it. Sabrina, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you should tailor it to the specific person. It shows you're paying attention. I think that moms nowadays make it super easy on you with social media sites like Pinterest, where they're pinning everything that they want and everything that they love online, that you could really do some sleuth work and go online and find out what she's pinning, what she loves, and that way you can get something for her that she has no idea you even know about and really look like a rock star.
Ryan, what would be the best gift you think you've ever got your wife on Mother's Day?
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that, Mike.
Well, nothing comes to mind.
I don't remember the gifts I've gotten her. I mean, I can tell you what doesn't work. I mean, definitely don't want to. I mean, flowers are just not especially for the mothers who are really, close. Your own mother or your wife. Something generic just can't work. So it does have to be really tailored to them. I mean, I'd say last year I got it was kind of a combined gift, but my wife really likes to bike, so I bought her a bike, and it was kind of one of these things like we were talking about before, like James was saying. There's a thing when the children were young, she had to completely forego. She really, really, when you're a mom of two small kids, you really can't even get out. You can barely take a shower during a day. But she was able to. I gave her a bike, and she loved it. We go on bike rides together, and that's what I was talking about before, about kind of that collective thing where it's a gift that we could enjoy together.
That's good. Fred, do you have any memorable gifts, whether bad or good, from your Mother's Day gift-giving experiences?
Oh, I have one that's very bad that I can remember.
Please, that's what we want to hear. That's the story.
Well, and this was a case where I gave my mom a good gift, but it turned out being a very bad gift for my wife. My mom's from Louisiana, so she enjoys eating crawfish. So I decided I'm going to buy a big sack of crawfish and invite all the family over. We're going to have a big crawfish boil. Well, my wife doesn't like this at all, and I made the mistake of cooking it inside the house. So for many days, our house smelled like crawfish. And the other thing is I forgot one of the sacks of crawfish in the backyard. So you can imagine how what happened to that in the Texas heat. She came outside. So there was the cooked crawfish smell in our house, along with the spoiled crawfish smell in the backyard. So my wife just made a point to say, do not ever in your life, ever again, cook any crawfish for Mother's Day. Make sure this never happens or I will divorce you.
Okay. You weren't exaggerating before, where Mother's Day does sound to a bit of a wire act for you, Fred. So no seafood.
But it was
and
a win for Mom.
Yeah. Watch your. And if you do go seafood, note to everyone out there: don't leave any bags of it lying around. That's probably just good practice in life. Don't leave bags of seafood lying around. Exactly. Sabrina, do you have any strong memories from Mother's Day?
Well, my Mother's Days have always been, I'm one of those moms that likes to sleep. So my husband definitely knows to let me sleep in and kind of lets me do my own thing on Mother's Day, which is definitely something that I prefer. But one of my favorite no's, of definitely what not to do, comes from one of our editors on parenting.com. He has a blog, Pop Culture. And he talked about this story just recently where he got his mom and his wife the same card with the same handwritten message inside of it, thanking them for helping him to become a better man and a better father. And of course, they found out about it. And so I think that's a good word to the wise, and I know you spoke about that earlier, that like the same gift does not work for the same two people, and you definitely should try to personalize it, because I think that's probably the worst thing you can do is, you know, kind of try to kill two birds with one stone, one card.
I agree. I doubt efficiency should not be your main motivation when gift giving. You should be thinking a little bit more about other stuff. James, do you have any tragic or exciting celebratory stories about Mother's Day?
None. I have no tragic stories. My wife's a mother. You know, this is her first Mother's Day, so all my tragedy is in the future. I mean, I think that just in terms of what's a bad gift, I think generally speaking, anything that's practical or pragmatic is pretty terrible. Anything that's not personalized, I mean, the example that Sabrina just gave, it's really horrifying. That's a terrible gift. But also gift certificates, a lot of guys default to gift certificates. That's just the worst, you know, for any occasion. Just get that out of your gift buying schedule.
You're going back to making me feel awful about myself again. Carry on. I've resorted. But yeah, I guess
you know, I mentioned that survey that I did last year, and actually gift cards was the #1 gift that the moms did not want.
Okay,
there you go.
Again, I thought I wasn't going to feel worse. You succeeded. Thank you. So, like, what do you think most guys, why do you think guys struggle? I know a lot of guys, I think, struggle with the idea of, you know, gift giving for their wives, gift giving for their mothers. I mean, they don't really, they do seek help, and we've seen that on AskMen. Guys come looking for advice because it doesn't always come naturally. Why? I mean, gift giving is a bit of an art. Is there something that a guy should kind of just, you know, practice in his life that would you could just give as blanket advice for gift giving on Mother's Day or any other day, really? I mean,
I think guys forget, to be honest. I think guys just forget, and they don't remember until Thursday afternoon, and it's a panic, and they don't want to deal with the retail stores. They just get whatever is kind of most accessible. I mean, for us who are working at AskMen, we're reminded because we see people reading the Mother's Day articles more a couple weeks in advance, so we have that cue. I don't know if it's something as easy as putting in your calendar, just somehow reminding yourself 3 weeks out, you got to think about a Mother's gift for like the next 2 hours. Figure it out today, buy it today, and you'll be in much better shape.
I agree with that. Fred, you had something to say on that as well?
Yeah, and the guys, we can't forget that there's nothing wrong with asking. Being direct and finding out exactly what your mom or your wife really wants for Mother's Day. You know, you may think you're ruining the surprise, but I'm telling you, it's better to get what they actually want than to be surprised in a bad way.
Well, we actually have a woman here that's going to give us her opinion on that. Sabrina, what do you think about the surprise versus success ratio?
Well, I think that there's definitely something for figuring out in advance what the woman wants. But I will say one of the more annoying things that my friends and I always talk about is when it's a few days before Mother's Day and you get that, what do you want to do? Where do you want to eat? What do you want? And I feel like there's something disheartening about that, where I think you want someone to surprise you, even if you don't like surprises, and better yet, surprise you with something that you want. And so I think it does become with setting some kind of a reminder, because I think men in general don't necessarily make a lot of the buying decisions when it comes to gifts. I know I buy all of our family's Christmas gifts. It's just not something that's top of mind. So make sure if all else fails and it's like right before Mother's Day, I would rather my husband write me a great letter of like all the reasons why he's happy I'm the mother of his child than do something generic like flowers, which is kind of the one thing that nobody really wants. I think something sentimental, something that's cute and like personal would win any day over something like a gift certificate or flowers.
Why is everybody so down on flowers here, Ryan? What's going on? I mean, I get that it might be a bit generic, but if I sent a dozen roses to my wife at her office, would that not, if that wasn't at least the only gift, would that not still be a great gesture?
I think that's good if it wasn't just such a standard Mother's Day gift. It's almost a cliche. I mean, I'll send flowers to my wife at her office, but I make a point of doing it on a random day. So that, is kind of, it's unexpected, and I think I hope it kind of lifts her spirits a bit. But I think this is all, it's actually a little bit less about the present that our mothers are receiving than the effort